Good morning, Alaska. Holy cow, what a trip we've been on since we left you guys on the Dempster Highway. It's been a really rough last couple of days. We had to put down our sweet dog Tucker. He was our beautiful yellow lab. He'd been to 49 states, Canada, Mexico, all the oceans surrounding North America. As you can see, we're pretty crushed right now. Thank you guys for your support. We really appreciate all the comments we've gotten on Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon. Thank you, Denny. That meant a lot. And we're here for you guys, and we really appreciate you guys being here for us. But now we're here at what? Another sticker-covered sign that marks all the travelers that have come before us. And we are headed up the Dalton Highway. We're gonna put our sticker on this sign, and then we're gonna drive this road all the way to Deadhorse, Alaska, which is right at Prudhoe Bay. And then we're gonna go back to the Arctic Ocean for the second time in a week. All right, our sticker's up, and we're hitting the road. All right, this is the actual start of the Dalton. This is where the sign is. And the mosquitoes are horrendous here. So I have my hood up and they're attacking my hand. All right, let's get back in the van and get this adventure underway. We're going back to the Arctic. All right, we've reached our camp for the first night on the Dalton. Isn't it beautiful? Look at this, we're in a gravel pit. Why so many gravel pits, you might ask? Well, there's lots of these spots along the Dalton and the Dempster highways. They use this as materials to keep the road open, not only in the summer, but all winter. Now remember, these are highways that access the Arctic Circle and the Arctic Ocean in the winter time. So it is extremely brutal here in the winter, and they need all kinds of gravel to put on the roads to keep the trucks running, and then bigger rocks and building supplies to fix anything that washes out from creeks flooding and who knows what. It makes for a lot of these kind of empty gravel lots where you can pull in and camp. Now some people have told us that you aren't supposed to camp in the gravel lots, and then iOverlander has lots of accounts of people camping in the gravel lots. We have yet to see a sign that says no overnight parking in a gravel lot, and there's lots of campfire rings and all the normal signs that you would see when someone camps somewhere. So we're going off the assumption that it is fine to camp in these gravel lots, and we've done it and no one has seemed to care. Now, we always leave our camps just as good or better than we found them, with trash and anything like that. We normally aren't making campfires or using the fire circles either, but yeah, it's a great little place, and they're frequent. They're all over the place, and you can just pull in and spend the night. Now this one is particularly beautiful because we have this amazing view that right now is covered in smoke. We have been getting chased by smoke on this trip for seems like the last 3 weeks. We've been in around forest fires, and it was clear when we first pulled in, but now the smoke is quickly blowing towards us. I'm getting a sore throat from the smoke. I'm starting to feel the effects of smoke inhalation. You know, I've had this before when we've stayed in other areas in Idaho and Colorado when forest fires will break out. So I am ready to get out of the smoke. But this is a beautiful spot. I'm just sorry that when I'm sharing it here with you, it's covered in smoke. We are looking off into this valley where the Dalton Highway runs, and right next to it is the Alaska pipeline. And this is gonna go from basically Prudhoe Bay, where we're headed, all the way to Valdez. And in Valdez is where the big tanker ships will get filled with oil and take it on to I guess, refineries and places to be processed around the world, if not the US. But it's pretty interesting. You know, we're gonna be driving this beautiful highway with this crazy pipeline running right along it for hundreds of miles. All right, so we're gonna spend the night here in the gravel lot, and we're gonna hit it first thing in the morning, and hopefully this smoke will have blown over and is not gonna be getting my throat anymore, and we're gonna have a beautiful day driving where we can see all the sights. Hey, and if you haven't yet, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. It really helps our channel grow, and it makes a big difference. And also, I want to send a huge thank you to our Patreon subscribers. It's these guys right here. Thank you so much for your support. If you're interested in our Patreon, here's a link right here in the corner. On our Patreon, you're going to be able to find field guides to all the trips we do, and you're going to be able to then go on there and get all the questions answered that we wished we would have known before we started our adventure. These are downloadable guides straight off of our Patreon page for you to help you plan your next adventure. Thank you guys so much for your support. It really does mean a lot. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning. Thanks. Good morning, Dalton Highway. We are still here in the gravel pit, but we are leaving. We are packed up, and boy, my sinuses are just killing me. I feel like I have a sinus infection, and I think it is all from the smoke. It's gotten really bad. We slept with all the windows sealed last night, and it's still, I just have this terrible headache and congestion, and I think that's what it is. But we're out of here. We're gonna keep going up the Dalton. Hopefully we can drive out of the smoke. We are back to the Arctic Circle. This is 2 times in 1 week. We have been to the Arctic Circle in Canada and now in Alaska. We're going up the Dalton, and this is as far north as you can drive in North America. All right, it's always cool to reach this sign. It always feels really special crossing this imaginary line, but we've done it again, and we still have quite a ways to go though. The smoke seems to be a little better over here, and I think once we get through the mountains and get over to the other side, it sounds like we're gonna have fog, but hopefully we'll get out of the smoke, because the smoke has just been debilitating over there. Gosh, these bugs are eating me alive. I think I gotta call this one quits. Good to be here, Arctic Circle. Let's keep going. All right, we've made it to beautiful Coldfoot, Alaska, and I have a feeling in 3 weeks or so, this place is gonna live up to its name. It is way up here in the Arctic. This is one of the only places we can get fuel. There is a little cafe and a post office here and a tire shop. And that's about it. It's a little industrial. There have been helicopters landing over here that are fighting the fire, coming in with big buckets. I think they're fueling up here too, but that's kind of it. That's what we've got here at Coldfoot. All the official state of Alaska vehicles that we're seeing up here have light force driving lights. Looks like they're either halogens or HIDs, because you don't want LEDs up here in the extreme cold, because you want something that actually puts off heat and will melt the snow and ice off of the lens of the light to keep it functioning in super cold weather. But this one has a big light bar and then 4 big light force lights. We like light force too. All right, we're over Atagun Pass and the air quality is better. It is beautiful over here. We can finally get some views here of the Brooks Range. Oh my gosh, look how big these mountains are. This is what we came for. Now the road on the Dalton Highway has been, I would say, 80% paved. And while the Dempster Highway, I would call that a 45-mile-an-hour dirt road, this I think is a 40-mile-an-hour paved road. This thing has so many frost heaves and lumps and dips. It is paved, and that makes you maybe feel like it's going to be a pretty good road, but it's really a pretty bad road in most of it. Now it's no problem, you know, a normal car could get through here, but it's just slow going because you can't get going very fast because there's all these dips and jumps, and boy, you just can go flying if you aren't paying attention. But with that said, our Revel van has done great up here. I am so excited to be out of the smoke. I think our next challenge though is gonna be this wall of fog that we see at the bottom of the valley. We talked to a couple other travelers. They said it is super thick pea soup fog all the way to Deadhorse. I don't know if we're gonna catch a break on this one. I sure hope we do, but this right here where we are is making it worth it. It is beautiful. The temperatures, it feels like a fall day. The leaves are starting to change. It's very comfortable outside, and now that the smoke is on the other side of the pass and not over here, I feel a lot better. Okay, so I think we're gonna look for somewhere to camp over here, maybe before the fog, and it'll give us a couple of hours to get into Deadhorse tomorrow, but that won't be too bad. Good morning, Brooks Range. Here we are up here in what feels like the clouds. We are in a huge fog bank that I think rolls all the way to Prudhoe Bay. Oh my gosh, sometimes this happens, right? You're so excited to get to a place, you're so excited to see everything around you, like these huge mountains that are right here that you would never know it. But and you get there and it's not at all like what you think it's gonna be. And it actually is like I think it's gonna be, it's just the fog isn't like what I thought it was gonna be. We're gonna see the forecast is not looking good. It's looking like we're gonna be in dense fog the whole way to Deadhorse, Alaska, Prudhoe Bay, and I don't know if we're gonna see anything. But we had an amazing night here under the Brooks Range, and it was beautiful for a while. We could see the mountains, but then as it started cooling off in the evening, the fog rolled in. And it's been dense fog all night long, and this morning we've kind of hung out here working for a while, and we hoped that it would kind of maybe burn off. But I don't know, this might be the Arctic coastal dense fog that maybe never burns off. The 10-day forecast here for Deadhorse, Alaska shows fog, 14-mile-an-hour winds and dense fog. Well, we definitely aren't going to be here 10 days from now because we've got other adventures to go on, but we are here. And we're gonna make the most of it, and we're gonna go to Deadhorse and check it out. All right, so it could be a little cruxy driving. I think we're gonna have our light forces on with our fog lights, and hopefully that'll, if nothing else, alert our presence to these trucks that come up and down the haul road here. The Dalton Highway is AKA the haul road, and these trucks come flying up and down the road. And it's kind of common wisdom that if you're in a smaller vehicle, it is your responsibility just to get out of the way and let the big trucks come through. But with 50-foot visibility, we aren't gonna have as much warning as we're used to. So we'll see how that goes. But we're off to Deadhorse, Alaska. Let's go check it out. Okay, we've been driving for a couple of hours now. The road has turned to pretty much gravel. The fog turned to a light misty rain. It really hasn't been that bad, but there has been some construction, delays, and then a lot of trucks. And these trucks tend to want to go a little faster than we want to go, so then you've got to find places to let them pass. We've already broken our windshield once in one place, and as the trucks come across, they definitely throw up lots of rocks, and there's a very good chance each time you let a truck pass that they're going to break your window. So I've been trying to pass really slowly, like I'll actually stay in the lane and slow down and force the truck to slow down a little bit. Then I'll pull way off the side of the road and hope that they go way around me. And that seems to be a pretty good technique for not getting hammered by the rocks and the trucks. But it is a very foreign landscape out here. It is just tundra as far as we can see, but it is pretty green, flat, and desolate. We're making it to Deadhorse. I'll keep you guys updated as we go. Well, we've made it to Deadhorse, Alaska. Actually, we're just outside of town. You can see it is very much an industrial zone. It looks like kind of, if you just go strictly off the buildings and what you see, it looks like West Texas. There's all kinds of oil field equipment. It's kind of getting late, but look, the skies have parted. It's still cloudy, but we can see, and I'll take it. This is great. We read on iOverlander about this spot. It sounds like 3 different campsites right outside of Deadhorse. This is the second one, and supposedly there's a bear that has cubs that lives right over here, and we do see some bear prints down here in the mud. And so we're gonna intentionally park right here, and we're gonna be keeping an eye out our window, and hopefully we'll see the bear. But we're tired. It's been a long drive. It is a long ways up here, and we're ready to get some rest. But tomorrow we're gonna see what Deadhorse has to offer us. All right, good morning. We're in Deadhorse, AK, and we are here at Arctic Ocean and Shuttles. And this is a place with a kind of a simple hotel and place that travelers can stay. I assume it caters a lot towards oil field workers too, but this is a place where a lot of overlanders and motorcycle people will come and spend the night. But this is where you go and you pay to be on the shuttle that will actually take you into the oil fields and take you back to the Arctic Ocean. So we're gonna go check that out. So we walk in the front door and there's this boot room. This reminds me a lot of the huts in Europe that you stay in the mountains, and you take your shoes off at the door always, and they're never allowed in the main building.
Well, we've got a map and we have to come back at 10:30 to book our bus shuttle.
All right, we've made it to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. We are at the top of North America. This is literally as far as you can go. We're way north of the Arctic Circle, but something terrible has happened. We're 500 miles from the nearest mechanic and our van has broken down. Stop. Oh gosh, terrible place to have a breakdown.